So happy that you're here, friends. So this session, I'm Mel Salvatore August. I don't know why it doesn't have my full name, but I'll fix it in a second. We're really happy that you're here. We're hoping to be efficient and, jolly, because that's what we are generally, in kind of going over our 300-hour program or any questions you may have about deepening teacher training in your yoga pathway. So we'll do a little introduction and we'll talk all about like content and of course pricing and all the things that you would need. And then of course we're going to open up to questions, right? So I'm super happy to be here. I'd like to introduce you, Rachel, because oftentimes you introduce me first and you say them like things that like make me want to cry and blush, right? So if you don't already know Rachel, she is um, I'm going to say world class. She's world class in her quest for understanding and building and growing yoga knowledge, all things yoga, philosophy and asana and functional anatomy, and just like truly world class. And her ability to create trainings and so very masterful at creating content that is not just like, oh, that's nice. I learned a little something, but to make it integrative. So I just have to, as her friend, I have learned so much being with her, and she has elevated our ability to help others integrate knowledge and really act on it. She's also an author of many books and a just a beautiful, very kind human in the world. So, last thing I'll say about you, Rach, and we know each other. We've known each other about 20 years. We were in New York City at Yoga Works and Ishta together. We were just, like newer, teachers together. And but what I will say about Rachel specifically is that she's so knowledgeable. She's so detail oriented, really, really skilled and in a well-rounded way. Yet she is very, very humble and super kind. So she never goes in to be like, that's wrong. You know what I mean? And you always uplift me and everyone that you're with. So I just want to tell you thank you for that, Rachel. And it's always not only an honor to collaborate with you, but a joy. All right, always a really good time. We learn from joyfulness, which is fantastic. Mwah.
Sure. Well, you're not allowed to introduce me first again. Everybody, hi, I'm Rachel. I live in Colorado with my honey, Gil Headley, who is also faculty in our program and teaches the anatomy portion. He's outside building a retaining wall right now with great joy. So he's doing that. But as she said, we've known each other for 20 years. We were little baby yogis in New York City together. And so Mel is extraordinary, an extraordinary human, one of my best friends. I'm very grateful to have her in my life personally and professionally. Just an innate creative person. And what's really fun about Mel too is that she is uh, incredibly detailed in her feedback. So Mel and I both come from arts backgrounds, which is something that we share, which is kind of interesting. And so we both have a keen sense of how do we look at the presence of someone, see how they are in the room, look at what's kind of going on with them, and then really support their skill building. And Mel is incredibly incisive, incredibly perceptive at getting to the root of what someone needs to take it to the next level. It's like witchcraft. She just hones in on the thing that's necessary in this amazing intuitive way. Those of you who have experienced her know this about her. But she blends that kind of intuitive understanding with a real depth of knowledge and skills and things that are very, very specific to help people elevate their teaching to the next level. In addition to that, she's also an author. What is it, three? Is it three books?
3 books,
Three
yeah.
books now. Always more on the horizon. So an author, and also we complement each other. And so I kind of went into like anatomy. I'm kind of like I call myself kind of like a technician, an engineer of things like sequencing and stuff like that, which is great. Mel's also great with those things too, but her passion has led her to kind of like Ayurveda, Marma points, which very, very few people teach. Dinacharya, living in your daily life, adaptive yoga. She does all of these amazing. If any of you are interested in working with populations who might not be, 25 and in generally good health, Mel has so many skills and techniques up her sleeve for working with a whole variety of populations and really supporting them in their yoga practice. So we complement each other in terms of the skills we have, and yet we come from kind of foundational principles that are really aligned. So that's kind of why we love teaching this program and the way we love teaching it.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
so Mel's amazing. I would love to hear from all of you. Just a little quick note in the chat, like where you're from, where you're dialing in from, and also, um, something that you'd really like to learn from the info session today, just so we can. I mean, we got a little plan, but I really want to make sure to touch on everybody's questions.
Mhm.
So, where you are, something you'd like to know, that would be amazing.
Well, I'll start.
Oh, great. Warren's good. Let's hear it, Warren.
Okay. I just got my 200-hour certificate in April, and it was a hybrid program.
Great.
And I started teaching at two YMCAs and at a church. And I've taught since June. I've taught a little over 100 classes.
Wow.
So I teach Hatha yoga and I teach chair yoga. I got a certificate online for yin yoga. I've taught a few of those classes, and I live in Virginia. Um, I also substitute for yes classes, young, energetic seniors.
Excellent.
So if you add all those together, that's how I've taught so many classes in what, 6 months. And so I'm just kind of interested to see if I have enough experience to go for the additional 300 because I've kind of hit like a little bit of a roadblock because I've taught so many classes, so I'm constantly working on making up new classes so that nobody gets bored.
Yeah.
I've watched pretty much every video I can find of Rachel, and I've
Yeah.
seen Mel in some of those videos. Um, I take good notes, and but in my 200 hour, they didn't real. I've never been a teacher. I worked as a software salesperson. And so the part about teaching it
Mhm.
is the part that I constantly have to work on. My voice, um, somewhat cueing. Um, my Hatha classes, well, both of the classes, the people have been doing it for a good while. So I really get irritated when I have these students who um, if you were to say Warrior Two, they're in Warrior Two before I even put my foot back. And I like to consider myself to be a teacher and not an instructor. And I differentiate that as I'm trying to teach them the right way of doing it versus just this is what we're
Lovely.
going to do.
And that's what we would guide you to. Yeah, as an educator.
Yeah. And
Mm.
there's some of the people in the classes that are interested in some of the philosophy and the history of yoga and this, I call it the spiritual part, but maybe it's not the spiritual part.
Great,
Uh,
Warren.
and then, of course, then there's others in the class that they just want it as an exercise class.
Right.
So
Like
trying
you're on the
to,
right track.
pardon me?
I'm really inspired, and it sounds like you're really on the right track, Warren.
Oh, I've spent a lot of time on it.
Good. Good. Well, I feel like you're absolutely in the right place. So thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. That's super inspiring. And just a quick question, Warren, have you lived in Pittsburgh at all ever in your life?
No,
No.
Does he
I
Okay.
lived,
sound like it,
Yeah,
Mel?
yeah,
She
Warren,
can hear
you
it.
sound Virginia to me. You sound Pittsburgh to me, and I grew up in Pittsburgh, and so there's a certain sound to I changed it because I studied Shakespeare. So, but it's a sound that I can do, and
yeah,
it sounds a little like this. Yeah,
I
I
grew
love
up in Northern Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C.
Might
it. Makes
be.
total
Then
sense.
I lived 10 years outside of Philadelphia in Bucks County.
There.
All right.
Okay.
And
That's what it
now,
is.
and now I live in the boondocks of Virginia on a beautiful river about 15 minutes by boat to the Chesapeake Bay.
Oh,
Oh,
wonderful. And
nice.
you're teach yoga there, and we're so happy you're bringing it. That's awesome.
Great.
Thank
Warren,
you so
thank
much,
you.
Lauren.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
You're welcome.
Roxy, and guys, if you'd prefer to just throw this in the chat, you can too, but it is lovely to hear your voices. And Roxy.
Hi. Well, I mean, following up Warren, I'm just like, whoa, I'm inspired. I'm Roxy. I'm in Texas. I just finished my 200 hour with Rachel, with the Do Yoga with me. It was a journey. And so I started teaching I am an educator. I'm teaching pre-K bilingual students, Spanish and English. But I started offering once a week to the staff and teachers because
Mm.
I want them to, yeah, we need to be 100% and show up for these students that require a lot of energy. And in my class, I do yoga with them, and they love it. I have these little cards, and they get to pick one as like a movement break. And it's really cute seeing them just like not know how to like move their body, and they've gotten a little better over time. So that's been really cute. I think for me, going back to what Warren said, it's like I don't have enough experience. I feel now even less sure because he says even hundreds, thousands of hours. I have not gotten there yet. More so because of my job and just energy. So yeah, I think that's one of my worries that I would like to, but I'm like, oh, maybe I need to teach more. Maybe I need to like get a rhythm going before I step in. So that's kind of where I am right now.
Hmm. Roxy, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy you're
Thank
here.
you.
Yeah. I'll just read this real quick from the chat. Um, Pallavi says, I finished my 200 hour a year ago and have been teaching chair yoga, awesome, to seniors since May, and subbing vinyasa classes at our local rec center. I'd like to know when is a good time for me to join the 300-hour program. Do I need more experience? It seems like this is a common question. Great. Rachel. Hi, Rachel. I'm Rachel. She's not Rachel. I'm Rachel Bisker's husband. Joining in for her while she's out on a trail run. Great. Welcome, Rachel Bisker's husband. She's very excited, has been teaching weekly, multiple times a week, most weeks for this whole year. Okay, we live in WNC, is that North Carolina? Brevard, North Carolina, in these beautiful Appalachian Mountains. Oh, great, good,
Great
welcome.
teamwork.
What's that,
Talk
Mel?
about teamwork and having support of your spouse.
It's excellent. Great. Laura, thank you. Hi, Laura from Fremont. Oh, great. So you guys are old buddies. You know Mel from her Thrive program, many of her classes. Great. Humbled by this invite from Mel. Would love to learn more about your program. Fantastic. Joel, that leaves you.
Great. Hi, everyone. I just looked it up. So I worked with Rachel, 200-hour certificate, 250-hour certificate in 2022. So that was 3 years ago. And my intention was never to teach yoga, but I said, if I don't start teaching, I'm gonna forget half of what I learned. So I said, okay. I started teaching at the gym here, doing that once a week, and then I found I really, really enjoyed the teaching. So since then, I've been teaching regularly. I also teach now at a yoga studio here, and so I'm teaching anywhere from, I don't know, 3 times a week on average, and I and there's just so many elements that I like, but the things that I kind of focus on, um, well, before I get there, early this year I studied. I went to India, spent time studying Ashtanga, and I really enjoy the Ashtanga. So now that's become my personal practice, and what I've taken from that is really bringing the alignment into my other classes. I really focus on both alignment, and at the same time, I'm drawn to the spiritual side. And so I teach a yoga philosophy class once a month. And just the Ashtanga kind of pulls all of that together. So it really helped me deep in my entire yoga practice. And, I just, and the thing is, what I get out of teaching yoga is it really just feeds my soul. I feel uplifted after I teach a class because I see the energy it brings to everyone else. And so what I want to learn is the reason why I want to go further is I want to improve my capacity as a teacher to really really enhance and understand the alignment, understand the cues to be able to get people into the right position, go deeper into philosophy, get better at sequencing. One of the issues one of the feedback I got early on was find your voice. And I think I found my voice, but I can still deepen that, and you have multiple voices. So it's basically, I want to take everything that I've got that we got from the earlier program and amplify it.
Amazing.
Uh,
Joel,
yeah,
yeah.
you're in the right place.
You're absolutely in the right place.
Right place.
So, Mel, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to highlight a couple things.
Great.
One is that the right time for the program, you'll know because you're going to feel a yearning, right? So for some of us, it's like, oh, I need the time. I need time. I need more experience. And for others, for me, it was immediate. I knew right away this is where I was going, and it would take me and it would amplify me, and it did, and our program will. I will also say that that aspect of integration, we mentor. Our program is about mentorship. So that's why it's small. We have a small. So it's about you taking everything that you're doing and integrating it with your teaching, but in your personal daily life. So when there's a chasm between what you're living and what you want to live, this is a fantastic program. We carry you and lovingly prod you and get you there. So you get all the tools, but you're also getting, I would say, almost like a philosophical Ayurvedic practical coaching program. So those two things will take you where you want to go if you feel like there's a chasm, right? This is what I want to be, but this is what I'm living right now, and I want to get there. So I just wanted to quickly kind of address that because I know we
Okay.
have limited time. Mhm.
Bill, can you maybe take maybe it's better for Rachel, between the two of you, how will this course differ from the 200-hour course that we
Oh my
took?
gosh.
Take it.
That's
Jump
a
in, take
really
it.
good question.
Yeah,
Okay.
jump in, take it.
Okay, great. It's very different. So there's two things that happen. So this is a course, I will say, one of the things that sets this program, which differentiates it, not for better or for worse, but just makes it different from other programs, is that we're really interested in your teaching. So there's a lot of great 300-hour programs out there that you could take, which teach you like yin, here's restorative, here's 20 hours on vinyasa, here's 50 hours on prenatal, whatever. It's kind of more like a kaleidoscope. What's that, Mel?
Smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Smorgasbord. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
But ours is really like, okay, this is where you are as a teacher. We touch on things like that, but we want to enhance your teaching skills through mentorship. And that's like, so yes, some of it is going back to the basics of, are you using direct language? Do you know how to hone and use these skills for different situations? Do you know how to teach to component parts? Like, how are you supporting the students in the room? So while there is a reiteration of those skills, it's like taking that and putting it into practice and living it and teaching with it and embodying it, so that those skills, which you learn in the 200-hour more as theory and can, you kind of use them, become really ingrained in how you teach. So it's bringing all of that together. And then there are some different skills that are taught as well to add into that, but really it's more about integration. And so that's why the mentorship, that's why there's lots of practice teaching with feedback from peers and from us, and you standing in your presence. And each person through a process, there are different components of this. There's the daily practices with Mal that she's gonna, to introduce into your life. There's thematic work with me. There's the business of yoga work with me, where we go through into, it's not so much business of yoga, but it's like, what's my vision? What's my mission? Like, how am I of service in the world? And what resonates with me most clearly? And through honing those things, also that is part of your teaching skills. Like, who do you love to teach? What lights you up? And then finding that alignment, clarifying it, and getting really good at it. So that's different. Like in the 200-hour, really happy if you come out and know what a paired action is. You know what I mean? We're like, yay, that's great.
And Rachel, I just want to add, that's very specific language to the trainings that you and I teach. Right.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
so if you
mm-hmm.
went somewhere else, it's like, okay,
It's true.
what are you talking about? We're talking about how to functionally support a body in practice. So you know what's the benefit, what's at risk from bottom to top, and then how to hone on that with your language. So you, with the least amount of language, help the students be the safest and then take them the deepest appropriate for them. And that you're able to do that, whether it's a 20 some or an 80 some, you're able to very quickly process that and be like, okay, this is what needs to happen there to support their shoulder joint, to support their low back. And then that will also coincide energetically. This is how you're moving the energy, the pranic energy. And that also coincides with a lot of pranayama and meditation work that we do aligned with the energetics, chakras, nadis, marma, that's the acupressure points, so that it's very cohesive. So when you walk into a class and you have all these different people, you're able to be like, okay, these are the 3 things that we're going to focus on. And that's going to give them the safest and most potent experience I can give them. And it has a root, right? It's not just like, oh, you know, this is a really fun sequence. It's like, no, this is we're very intentional, and the intentional is rooted in the lineage of the philosophy, the sutras, the Gita, the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, like that. We are anchored in this modern world. So I know I got very excited, Rachel, but I just want to, like I don't think you're doing it justice. It's like to go out and understand what's happening in all the joints and then energetically and be able to call that up with clear language, really potent.
And the other things, and this is a good segue into just discussing what's in this program too, is you get 50 hours of integral anatomy with Gil, right? And so that's an asynchronous course, but you get access to him once a month for an hour to pick his brain on all the questions. It's a very comprehensive course. And the only reason that he did this course is because I'm his lady. And we were like, I'm like, come on, baby, we got to do something for the yogis.
Because he's best in the world.
It's really depth. It's deep. It's deep. And so it's important that you have a foundation actually from the 200-hour that we did. There's some reiteration of things because I'm teaching. And so, I'm sort of, there's some things that are going to be familiar to you, but what Gil teaches is very vast and deep and inspirational. So it's anatomy from, an individual point of view. So integral anatomy is like you look at each individual person, which really relates super well to our adaptive yoga, to being able to see bodies in the room and understanding like why some of those things we talk about in alignment are relevant, important. And so you feel like, oh, okay, well, this is why. And also, so we also know when we don't know, because Gil is a master, been doing this 30 years, and he'll still be like, huh, that's interesting, right? So it's also for us to learn as much as we can. And the more I learn, the more humble I get, because the more I realize what I don't know. So that's a piece of it. Also, with the philosophy, I've kind of changed my tact for this next group. That you guys are the first ones to get this. Where before I was focusing in the 300-hour on the Upanishads, and I love the Upanishads, they're awesome. But I'm realizing that there is a need for more foundation in what the whole lineage is. So I'm really excited about this. Super stoked. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to do kind of a review of yoga history, and then we're going to look at each of these pieces in turn. So we will look at the Upanishads and go like, what are the texts, what are the practices, and why, like what's going on. But Mel will do more of the classical yoga review, because we always need to review the sutras and kind of like remember what they're about. We'll do the Gita, the Puranas, and Hatha Yoga, Hatha Pradipika, so that we understand where our place is in this lineage, what we've taken from all these different beautiful branches of this incredible tree, and then kind of, again, how does that relate to my voice as a yoga teacher? So how does it relate to my life? How does it relate to my voice? So I'm really excited about that piece too. And then I guess maybe let me share the syllabus with you, and you can just bookmark it just in case you haven't. Where are you? Here's the syllabus. Just in case you haven't seen it yet. Don't be scared. but it'll give you kind of a big picture view of all the
Big
things we're
program.
going to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah.
And I just want to do some simple math for everybody also. Okay. I know, and like this seems crazy, but 300 hours in 6 months. So we'd say like 45 hours are the retreat, okay? And you got 30 non-contact hours. So let's say we're covering like, 240 hours over the course of 6 months. So I'm going to pull out my calculator because I'm not a math girl. Let's say that's 240 hours of work divided by 6, right? Is 40. Divided by 4 weeks, roughly. You get a little bit extra because there's 31 days, right? But you're talking 10 hours of work a week. 10 hours. 10 hours. I just want you all to take that in. In order to do a 300 hour in 6 months, it means that you're going to have to go, I need to make some time for this. Now, about 3 hours of that are going to be practice with me and Mel. Okay, so you're going to be coming to practice with each of us at least once a week. You can do recordings and stuff, but we really want to see you in person once a week in either of our classes. But still, that's 7 hours of coursework. So I just want everyone to kind of go, okay, like we ask you to show up. Yeah, Joel.
So is the coursework, is it recorded videos that we listen to, or is it, what are we reading material, or what is the
Great.
coursework?
Yeah, really good question. And in fact, 10 hours a week isn't quite accurate because let me just describe a little bit about the program structure. So you have one weekend with us a month. One weekend with me. So Mel's on Saturday, I'm on Sunday. Is that right? That's right, right? We've been doing this like for years and I'm still checking. And so we have a day with you. And also one of our other faculty, Miles, comes in, and also Gil comes in on the Sundays. So that's one weekend a month in the schedule. And so that actually does take 12 hours out of your thing. So maybe 8 hours a week. And the 8 hours a week is again composed of practice with us, again, live or recorded, but we want you there once at least. And then it's asynchronous course content with me and discussion forums that you post. So I have a weekly schedule. So it's flexible when you want to do all this stuff. But the asynchronous course time is going to be the anatomy. Now, you can offset, like if you sign up now, you can start the anatomy work immediately. And I think that's a great idea to kind of get ahead on it. And you can also take a little bit longer than the 6 months. So it's flexible. Some of our students have even said, you know what, I'm just going to do the anatomy next time because they wanted to keep their, hey Tina, because they just needed a little bit to take the gas off a little bit, right? So that's flexible. So again, you could start tomorrow if you wanted, and some of our students have. But the yoga work, I'll call it, that's going to be thematic work. It's going to be your work, your daily work that Mel gives you. She doesn't give you, it's not like crazy. It's like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, but it's important that you do it. That's also going to be the business of yoga modules that I do with you. It's going to be sequencing. So I can't remember if you guys have done my sequencing mentorship with me before. Yeah. So it'll be familiar. That'll be faster for you, but it's going through and like looking at every week we do a different sequence, different peak pose. So it's really to reinforce that information. So it's the sequencing work. And there's also another project in there, like creating a workshop, how to think like an educator. So I give you kind of some insight into how to really craft really excellent workshops. It's like marketing. This is my mission. How do I expand it? So that kind of stuff. I have you write a couple sequences for me so that we can do one-on-one feedback on those. That stuff. That's what you should be like, okay. So if it's like 8 hours a week, maybe 10 if I want to take more time with some of these things, 8 hours a week, and 2 hours of that, 2.5 hours of that is practice. I'm thinking I need like 5.5 hours a week that I'm going to put my butt in a chair and do some of this other asynchronous work. Right? So it could be, I tell people to plan it out. Say, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 8:30 a.m. This is where we're going to focus on that stuff. Just want to have a plan in mind. So I don't want anyone blindsided by the fact that like, oh my gosh, it's a bit of time, So we tell everybody it's a marathon. Yeah.
And it's in depth. When we talk about,
Yeah.
we'll help you teach online and in person, because that's something that we do. It's in depth. I mean, Rachel's going to ask you step by step to learn certain apps and learn how to edit and learn how to show
Oh
up,
yeah, that's a big
which
project.
is
That's a good one.
brilliant, which is important. It's not like this, okay, here's this skill as a soft skill. Like we're really going to be asking you to like go in depth. And we don't mean to scare you, but at the same time, we want to excite you, because you really can't even if you did the program 50%, you cannot not change. You
Yeah.
cannot
But
not change. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean by apps?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. So one of the projects that you do for us is, or for me, is how to teach online. Because I think in this day and age, everybody needs to know how to make a live stream video. Everybody needs to know how to do a pre-recorded video. If you're already familiar with editing software, you're like, I buy a movie, whatevs. It's gonna be easier for you. For those of you who've never done that, you're gonna be like, what is happening? And that's when you phone a friend, you get your grandchild to come help. You know what I mean? Like we've had people be like, my daughter help me with
Right.
it. Great. But once you get through that process, so that's what Mel means by apps. There's no like massive apps, but like YouTube or how to use, iMovie or how to just edit on your iPhone. Because I want everybody to know just I don't really honestly care if it's a great quality product at the end, but I want everybody to go through that process so that when you get out, you go, I'm not scared of that.
Yes, I'm not scared of any part of
It's
this
huge.
showing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's fun. And I'm there to help you. I give you little bite-sized pieces along the way. Again, some of you it might be super fun. You can help your friends who are also in the program who it might not be so fun for, but it's really, I find that it's crazy. I mean, that's one of the things that people afterwards, they're like, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad we did that. But
Oh,
doing it,
Rachel, it's
scary.
Warren.
Hi,
When I
Warren.
when I took my hybrid course
Yeah.
for our final exam, we needed to do and record a 30-minute practice.
Good.
So I have an iMac, and so I just set it up so that the camera's on, and I did the practice for the camera. I didn't actually have a student. Um, and I found that the nice thing about that was if you get started in it and you didn't like what you're doing, you stop it, cancel that, and start over again.
Right? I
But
know.
after I did, and then my in-person instructor that I had that was local, I spent 8 hours for 8 Saturdays with her and another lady that was taking the course. And she wanted us to do a video every week
Yeah. Did
for
you?
her. Oh, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So,
did.
Warren, you're going to be the guy that helps somebody else then with
Yeah, I
this
love
particular
I, I
project.
also I also wanted to mention Gil, um,
Okay.
person um, that my ever heard of a person named Tessa Timberlake?
Yeah. I know
Tessa
Tessa.
wa- Tessa was my in-person teacher,
Oh,
and she's a
she's
wonderful gal.
lovely.
She is
Yeah.
lovely.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Okay.
she told me about Gil. So I watched that whole series on the dissection of those two bodies.
Yes. Yes.
So
A to Z, you did? Oh,
yes,
that's
oh, it was
hundreds of
so
hours.
interesting. I thought so now when I teach my class, and if I have them like, kind of pull their knees up to their chest and roll back and forth, I ask them to bring them to their armpit, and I say, because we all have this superficial fascia that gets in the way. And I have some funny ones in some of the classes, and they said, "Are you trying to make a nice word for fat?"
Well, yes, and Gil would say that we love it. Warren, that's awesome. I love that. And Tessa's such a delightful, delightful human. I just want to move us. I know that we're getting short
Yeah,
on time here, so I want to make sure to
yeah.
get to our
Go ahead.
questions. Um, so I think we've kind of covered the structure, the kind of program content. Um, we understand that life is complex. This program is flexible. We want to work with you. So I don't like first we kind of scare you and go like, okay, it's a lot of work. But that said, there are ways to make it more flexible, and we can definitely talk strategies. If you get to week 16 and you're like, Rach, how do I take the gas off a little bit? What can I do?
Yeah.
I'm super happy. This is an organic experience. So we all agree that we're in, and then we also know we need to adapt as we go.
Yeah.
And
And you and I are here. We're very much hands-on loving.
we
Hmm.
are. It's
It's
true.
not scary. Hmm.
It's not scary. No, it's not scary.
Hmm.
And I will say, for those of you who are thinking similar to Mel, like Mel talked earlier about that voice inside that says, I feel called to this, and this is like, am I ready? First of all, we're never going to feel ready for something that we haven't done before, right? So that feeling of readiness is a bit of a red herring. But I think that it's like the calling is. And wherever you are, whether you haven't, like we've had students come to us who were like, I'm scared to teach in our 300-hour. And through the program, they gain the confidence. So wherever you're starting from in this program, we will help you. I love the word that Joel and Mel use, amplify where you are to step into, take those next steps. Like if you're already here, we're going to take you here. And if you're starting here, we're going to help you get here. So I did for my 200 hour, I did my 200 hour and immediately signed up for my 300 hour because I was like, I'm too excited. So I just did mine back to back. So there's lots of ways to do it.
Because we're intense.
We
Yeah.
are.
I mean, I also want to say, just because I know we have time issues, same with the structure of tuition, right? So if there's something specific, there's a way that needs to be facilitate for you, we're absolutely open to support you as a student.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm gonna pop. So I'm gonna put the link to the application in the chat so that you guys have it. It's kind of weird if I can make a cute little responder link that's not quite so long. There we go. Here it ours. So you can just bookmark this. I'll send it out afterwards too. And as I mentioned, we'll give an extra. There's a discount on until the end of December right now too, because financial stuff is real, and we're going to add an extra $50 off just for anyone who came to the info session today, because we just love seeing people in person. So if you're here today, you'll have that as an offer. But the first step would be the application to fill that out if this seems like something that's aligned for you. Yeah, and so now let me open it up for questions. Yeah, Joel.
Um, uh, two questions. One, I'm sure it's in the form, but what is the total cost? That's a quick one. The second one is, you mentioned there's a retreat. Where and when is the retreat?
Yes, I think it's August 17th. I'm going to double check just to make sure. August 17th to 21st
It's an
next
in-person
year.
immersion. Yeah. Yeah.
Immersion.
Yeah. We call it a retreat, but it
It's
really
an
is,
intensive.
it's an intensive, and it's here in this studio, which is in
Okay,
the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area.
okay,
When we get towards that, and also when we usually come together as a group, there's a lot of ways. I mean, we've had students all rent a house together. We've had all kinds of different ways that we make it work. We usually don't get into that other than helping you connect. So you just show up here and we work
okay,
together the week.
okay. And it's a week. Yeah, we'll all
Five
be
days.
5 days.
5 days.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What was the
Yeah.
second?
Oh, the final cost. That's what I was getting for you. Okay. So the usual cost is 42.50. And then right now we have a discount of let me just I think that is, it's a $300 discount right now. Let me find my little thingy here. I'll put the link to the whole thing in there as well. And then you'd get an extra, yeah, $300 off through December 31st. And then also you guys would get an extra 50. And if you have done my sequencing mentorship before, I'll double check. So it's a little individual because I don't like to make people double pay for things. So if you've done my sequencing mentorship with me, then I'll apply the price of that to the price of the program as well. So, because that feels like, right?
Cool.
Yeah. So, right. Other questions?
I do. Can you speak about, you said that the program, there's like a sliding scale for the payment, or can you speak a little bit more about that? Is that an application or like?
Right. Good question, Roxy. So basically there's a couple of ways. Like if you're like, I'm financial, I'd love to do this. I'm really feeling financially strapped. There's a couple of options. One option is that we can always take what is a 6-month payment plan and turn it into a 12-month payment plan. So if you're like, I really want to do this, what can we do? You let me know, because we go way back. And then another option is that there's work study options. So if you go through the application, there's an opportunity to do that. But we really ask that only if you're like, I can't do 12 month payment plan, like it's only for the folks who are like, otherwise I cannot afford this. And that's only because honestly, we run out of things for people to do. That's a work study. So we try to limit the work study stuff just because it becomes sort of a weird thing for us. But if this is something that is calling to you, let me know, Roxy, and we'll figure out a way to make it work.
Also on the flip side, and we know, we're all in different situations. we have, you'll see that we'll have the other end. If you
Yeah,
want to, you're like, this is absolutely fine. I'm very comfortable with the tuition and I could help with someone else. And that always feels amazing to be able to help
Mm,
somebody else. We have that option too. So we have,
Okay.
that's where we slide back and
that's
forth.
right. Yeah, we have so there's a community pricing, which is like the most accessible pricing per month, and then there's the sustainer pricing, which is the normal cost, which is the 4250. So actually the community pricing is less than 4250. Just can't do math, so I forget what it is. But we made it, I think it's $500 off that price. And then the supporter pricing is if you're like, yeah, I'm resilient, I'm ample. I can support one of those community people to come through this program, then it's a little bit more. And so you guys will see that
okay.
And that goes towards a
on the
friend.
sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks for mentioning that, Mel.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause it feels good. I
Yeah,
love when I'm in that spot. Yeah.
there's
Thank you
Where,
so much.
yeah.
I'm sorry. And then you said there's a so August is when in Texas we start school. So that week is the first week we're back. So I'm not sure if my principals are going to be like, yeah, go fun, or they're going to be like, no, I'm sorry, like you need to be here for that first week. Is there any alternatives if we can't make that retreat?
Honestly, not really. You would have to wait the following year, and we can't guarantee that that wouldn't interfere with school too, because of the way the dates we're running the program now. And so, and the retreat's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when is the start date?
February 15th. Although, if you join earlier, you can start doing some of the anatomy stuff. I mean, you can look over the whole program, of course, but I recommend people start the anatomy pieces and just get a head on that. But yeah, the official asynchronous start date, like here's where we're starting the material, is February 15th.
Okay.
The weekends that you put into the chat, what what is the timing and how much time do we spend on each weekend?
Great question.
Yeah, great question. I think it's 7:30 to 2:30 Pacific time,
Okay.
right, Mel? Yeah, and those are also, you can miss 20 hours of those. So you can, if you're like, there's 2 days in there that really don't work for me, we'll record it for you. I will, of course, give you assignments to follow up on whatever we missed. But if you're like, there's a couple days in there that really don't work, we can accommodate that. We don't like to do more than 2 days, though. It's like 20 hours is really where we call it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what,
7:30 to 2:30. Okay.
what will we be doing on those weekends?
Mm.
Oh, Warren, so many things.
We'll be
Mel, you want to?
practicing. I'm sorry, Rach, I'm just jumping in.
No, you
We'll be
go.
practicing. We'll be doing in-depth pranayama meditation. We'll be working dinacharya, which is, our kind of Ayurvedic techniques. We'll be practice teaching with feedback. We'll be working on skills and philosophy and chanting in Sanskrit.
Okay.
Just a little stuff, a little bit.
Little odds and
Every,
ends.
every time, every time,
Every time.
every weekend, we
And,
will be
and
together. We will work on all those things.
and when will we be doing the sequencing?
Yeah, so that's with me on Sundays. So the sequencing
Okay.
is a combination of the asynchronous stuff, which is
Hmm.
going to be like, and it's only, I mean, it's like, 30 to 45 minutes of you looking over, it might not even take you that long, of my sequence. Like every week we have a different sequence to a different peak pose. And
Hmm.
so I have a bunch of information on that teaching, which includes teaching tips, some of the applied anatomy, a suggested sequence that you can download. You can see how I would sequence it. And then in class, I teach that sequence. So there's that, which is kind of like your absorption part. And then on the weekends with me, there are going to be days where we create a sequence either together as a group to really reinforce these things and get feedback on it. You might create sequences individually or in like pairs, and then eventually you'll be submitting sequences to me on your own.
I'd like to highlight that when you're working on sequences, you're focusing on a specific group of postures and one peak
Mm,
posture. So not only is it sequencing, but you're looking at all the aspects of certain postures. So that's going to build, again, your understanding of what's important in that posture, what's the effect of that
cool.
posture, and what's at risk at that posture, and how to do that anatomically, cueing, and energetically.
Are you going to touch on theming?
Yes, I do theming. I love it so much. We debated taking it out, but Mel, I'm going to leave it in. Okay, so, because
Yeah.
but it's like it's really because theming isn't just about and some folks have experienced this before, or gotten a taste of it. It's not just about it's not just about kind of creating a cute story. It's really about also how we mine our own lives and our challenge points to find the light. So I personally love theming and I theme all my classes because it asks me to kind of to go into the messiness of life and find that golden thread, which helps us to elevate ourselves and others. So we'll look at theming from a personal story, and you can also bring in like yoga philosophy and some of the things that we're talking about. And I'll demonstrate theming too in my teaching.
It also is going to help you be able to speak and become a speaker and to speak from the heart, whatever that means for you and your leadership. So it connects directly to speaking and leadership in the world.
Cool.
I bought a book on theming.
Good.
I have.
We'll see if I agree. No,
Any
I'm
other
kidding.
questions? I'm just being mindful because I know
Yeah.
we have 30 minutes and we're over. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Joe.
No, so I've got some more questions, and this is more for Rachel,
Okay.
which is not appropriate to ask in a group environment. Can I just book a coffee chat with you, and we could have a one-on-one?
Yeah, it'd be delightful. Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
And if you can't find a time, I blocked off massive amounts of time in my schedule because the holidays
find
are
a time.
coming. But
We'll
just
find a
write
time.
to me and we'll find one.
Yeah, we'll find it. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't let the general public book with me, but you can.
Special.
Did you
Thanks,
speak
everyone.
about having experience or what your thoughts are about like, okay, maybe you need like a year experience or I'm just curious
Yeah.
your.
We don't make any qualifications like that. So it's really Rox. If you it's like if you're feeling this, because this also the program will give you experience.
Yes.
You know, it will give you that work that you need to step into things. So we don't put a limit on it. Like we said, Mel and I went right into our 300 hours, right? We didn't have any experience when we did ours, but the program grows you, you know. But again, if you feel like, nope, it's not the time, don't confuse that with not feeling confident or prepared though, right? This is sneaky. You know it's sneaky.
You know that feeling where you're yearning and you're like,
It's
yes. Then listen to it.
Yeah.
Roxy, I found teaching all those classes that I now realize, like, so to say, where my holes are and where I need to improve or where I want to improve. I also go to yoga twice a week with another teacher as a pupil, and she's a 500 hour. And when she teaches, she has, pardon me, so much more to add to it as opposed to just cueing like you were regimenting soldiers or something other. She adds in all that other part. And so, like, I taught 6 classes this past week,
Wow.
and yeah, I was tired at the end of the week because I have to prepare for the classes.
Of course. Yeah.
I'll bet. Warren, well, you've touched on it. You've made that distinction so well. After a 200 hour, I expect you guys to be able to lead a class, which is like you can talk a general group through some postures. After a 500 hour, I want you to teach a class. So, right, it's like, how do I actually elevate and inform the bodies in front of me? All right, we really need to wrap up. If you have any questions and want to hang out, please do. Joe will talk separately. But it's so great to see all of you. Mel, any last words?
Just reach out to us. Like we're very accessible, and we're here to help you navigate through. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Mm.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Happy
Bye-bye.
holidays.
Thank you.
Happy
You too.
holidays.
Keep teaching.
Oh, we are.
Good. Bye.